All eyes are on the Federal Reserve this week as it decides if it will drop interest rates. The rates have been sitting at a 23-year high. If the Fed lowers rates by 0.25 or 0.5 points, the impact could be felt from Wall Street to your wallet. Financial advisor from Burns Financial is Ernie Burns here to explain what all this means. Ernie, good morning. Thanks for being with us.
Morning.
And right before you came in the studio, I was telling you that we did get an alert from the Associated Press kind of talking about how the market's looking today ahead of this decision later today. Looks like Dow Jones down 0.2 points, NASDAQ down 0.2 points. You said things would pretty much not move until later on today.
It's going to stay flat today. They're going to wait at expectations what the Feds are going to do. And their expectations right now is a quarter point. It could be justified as a half a point, but even more importantly, the commentary after is really big. What he says after, and even if he does it a half a point, if he comes out after and says why, what expectations are in the future, and how the economy is doing, and it makes sense for the market in itself, you'll see a nice jump.
Let's rewind a bit, Ernie, and talk about what got us to this point of everyone having their eyes so close on what the Fed's going to do today. I just said in the top of the conversation here, rates have been sitting at a 23-year high. Talk about how we got to this point and what we can expect moving forward.
Well, in 2020 was the last cut, and then 2022 is when they started raising rates up because of the market crashing. And that period of time was the first time in over 35 years they started raising rates. It's been a long time. So we have 3 generations with low interest rates. You were talking about mortgages earlier, you know. So in the 80s, the mortgages were 15%. And now, you know, they've been at a 35-year low from 1991 till now. As these interest rates hiked up, we saw the economy, you know, slowing down. And now it's slowed down enough that the rates and inflation's come down. They believe they can cut rates. And at the beginning of the year, they were predicting in January, if you remember, 6 rate cuts. And then by March, 3 rate cuts. By June, 1 rate cut. Now they're saying 3 rate cuts. So the Feds have been kind of a little bit all over the place this year, but in control, but it's been very volatile.
So you said today about a quarter of a point is what people are,
a quarter
what's
is
expected?
Expectations. A half would be great for equities especially. But the commentary after is even more important than the cut.
Talk about why that's so important.
Because if he basically comes out and says, listen, the economy is slowing faster than we expected, that's a knee-jerk reaction. But if he comes out and says our expectations do this A, B, and C, and the economy is going to flow right on with it, that's a positive attitude, and it shows the Feds are in control.
And I was going to ask you too. I know people at home are wondering. Okay, so we've seen what happened in the last 30 plus years. We've seen what we're hearing what could possibly happen. But what does that mean for me? Let's talk markets first. If people have stocks, what does that mean for their stocks?
On more cuts, equities will go up. Your 401k will rise in value. Your retirement accounts will rise. In the same instance, your loans will be easier to make loans. It'll be easier to buy the cars and houses and things of that nature. Any credit card payments, it'll all ease up over time. But if a recession comes, which we don't expect, if a recession comes, then you're expecting a bunch of issues then.
So we'll all have to wait to see what happens. You said that call or that decision is going to come at 2 o'clock this afternoon?
2 o'clock Eastern, 3 o'clock Central.
3 o'clock our time. So we have to wait and see what happens, and we'll be talking with you after the decision is made. Ernie Burns, as always, we appreciate your time.
Thank you.